Urgent. Archangel Michael saw your blessing being sold. You have 1 hour to claim it back. Heaven hath been watching. The realm of angels has witnessed what you could not. As the winds of spiritual transfer began to stir, Archangel Michael stood firm with his sword drawn, not in defense, but in divine objection. What was promised to you have been placed on an altar it was never meant to rest upon. There are conversations occurring in the spirit that you were not invited to. Your name was whispered where your voice was absent. A sacred blessing, tailored for your hands, timed for your season, is now being weighed by those who neither sowed the seed nor carried the burden, and yet they are reaching for the harvest. This is not just a prophetic alert. This is a spiritual summons. Archangel Michael saw it happen. Your inheritance laid out like a transaction on a table. He saw the fingerprints of greed, the intention of deceit, the invisible ink where your name was scratched off by unworthy hands. This message reaches you at the final hour, the critical threshold, where time bends and destiny demands a response. You have 1 hour, 60 minutes, before the transfer solidifies. The spirit realm is holding its breath, waiting for your spiritual agreement to counter this move. Let this be known. What they are trying to sell does not belong to them. Your name was carved into that blessing before time began. Heaven never awakens for you. The anointing cannot be transferred by transaction. It is earned through fire, sealed through obedience, and guarded by covenant. Archangel Michael is not just watching. He is warring. But he needs your voice. He needs your alignment. He needs your command to cancel the counterfeit. Because in the next hour, the seal must be reattached and the claim reclaimed. They didn't just want what you have, they wanted what you carry. Your blessing is not a product. Your favor is not for sale. And yet, they tried. But you still have time. 1 hour. 1 choice. 1 declaration that shifts the heavens. Archangel Michael has sounded the trumpet. The Spirit says move. The time is now. Archangel Michael says, the deal is already on the table, but your spirit must intervene now. There are conversations happening in silence, forged not in words but in motives. And in this very hour, you've been summoned, not by man, but by the divine. This is not a casual message. This is a prophetic intervention. Something is shifting rapidly, and unless you rise in awareness, it will be taken before you even knew it was offered. What was seen in the spirit is no illusion. Your blessing is being exchanged in the atmosphere, legally, spiritually, deceptively. Heaven has not turned a blind eye. Archangel Michael saw it first. He saw a gathering of those who never paid the price trying to divide the portion you fasted for. He saw hands that never labored, attempting to steal what you travailed to birth. He saw the betrayal not as a surprise, but as a strategy from the shadows. And now he comes forward, not to warn but to intervene. The message is not hypothetical. The attack is not metaphorical. The transfer is happening, but it is not final. This message holds divine breath. It carries weight in the unseen realm. It is not about fear, it is about awakening. You are not powerless. You are not too late. You are not too far removed to take your rightful place at the center of what's unfolding. Michael stands guard, but he awaits your agreement. Authority flows where alignment resides. And in this very moment, your spirit must rise. You must say, I cancel every false claim on my inheritance. You must declare, what is mine cannot be sold. You must invoke the Spirit of truth to expose every lie whispered about your worth. Do not be fooled. The enemy does not always come with swords. Sometimes he comes with contracts. Sometimes he offers opportunities that look like shortcuts but smell of sabotage. Archangel Michael is calling your name in the halls of heaven right now. The question is, will your voice answer back? Will your spirit declare its ownership of what was divinely sealed? Will you stop the spiritual wire transfer before it's complete? You are not just being warned. You are being empowered. You are not being chased. You are being chosen to reclaim. What the enemy rushed to steal, heaven is ready to restore. But you must respond in this moment of divine compression. 60 minutes of spiritual fire. 60 minutes of alignment. 60 minutes before they call it final. But heaven says, it is only final if you stay silent. Type "I reclaim my blessing" in the comments now. Blessing code 777 is activating around your destiny. Archangel Michael saw them. He saw them meeting in low places, hiding behind casual words and subtle tones. He saw the glances exchanged when your name came up. He saw the way they smiled with their mouths while their hearts schemed behind their eyes. What looks like nothing to others have been exposed in the spirit. You were not meant to hear the whispers, but heaven did. Conversations about your future are happening in your absence. Your inheritance is being weighed not with reverence but with entitlement. What was sacred is now being packaged as ordinary. What was consecrated is being measured by casual observers who don't understand the fire it took to earn it. This is not just jealousy. This is spiritual piracy. Someone who once walked beside you now watches you from behind a curtain, not to celebrate, but to calculate. There's a transaction forming in the shadows. They've seen your stillness, and they have misread it as surrender. They believe you stopped. They believe you've been disqualified. They are assuming your silence means absence. But what they failed to see, what their spirit refused to discern, is that stillness is not surrender. Stillness is strategy. Silence is sacred. And in the silence, your spirit was receiving something they couldn't access. That's why they envy it. That's why they want it. That's why they are trying to duplicate it, even though they never had the blueprint. The Spirit says, your silence has power they don't understand. They thought you stepped away. They thought you forfeited the blessing. They thought you missed the hour. But they only saw the surface. They only saw what they wanted to see. Beneath that surface, your spirit has been engaging with angels. Beneath that silence, your voice has been echoing in the heavens. What they mistook as dormancy was divine preparation. What they gossiped about was actually guarded by God. Now hear this. Your name has been dropped in rooms where your spirit never agreed to enter. You were not physically there, but your blessing was placed on a spiritual shelf to be negotiated. They are speaking about you like you're unaware. They are imagining what they could do if they had what you have. Some of them even believe they are entitled to it. But Michael says they touch what was not theirs. They reached for a mantle they were never anointed to carry. They are handling fire with flesh, and it will burn them if not stopped. This is a betrayal not of trust, but of truth. Because truth was never on their side to begin with. They pretended to walk with you, only to wait for a window. They praised you in public, only to poke at your progress in private. They didn't want to help you rise. They wanted to delay it long enough to take your place. But God doesn't forget those who endure in silence. God doesn't overlook the faithful. And what they tried to mislabel, God is now correcting in this very moment. There is spiritual weight behind your blessing, and they have underestimated it. They are trying to hold what your prayers built. But blessings aren't bricks, they're breath. and only the anointed can breathe in it and not suffocate. This is their miscalculation. This is their downfall. They thought what was given to you could be transferred like property. But favor is not real estate. Favor is revelation. Favor is fire. Favor is earned when no one is watching. And now everyone is watching because favor is rising. You may feel the ache of their betrayal, but do not carry the burden of proving them wrong. Let the blessing speak. Let the fire speak. Let the evidence speak. You don't have to defend your name. Heaven is already doing that. What they've spoken about you is nothing compared to what God is about to speak through you. Type "My name is sealed" in the comments now. Blessing code 1111 is canceling every counterfeit agreement tied to your destiny. This is not just a conflict of jealousy. This is not just a betrayal born from envy or misunderstanding. This is a spiritual battle, one that has raged long before the conversation about you even began. Archangel Michael has not only seen the betrayal, he has discerned its root. He has identified its origin. And he is here now, not just to warn you, but to awaken you. The opposition you face is not personal, it is positional. You are being fought because you have been favored. You are being targeted because you have been chosen. You are not in the crossfire by accident. You are in it because you carry something eternal. This is warfare disguised as familiarity. The spirits behind the betrayal are ancient. These are not merely people. These are vessels influenced by shadows. What you're facing is not just a shift in relationships. It's a reaction to your revelation. It's not that you did something wrong. It's that you became who you were destined to be. And now, the darkness has taken notice. But the darkness has also made a mistake. It underestimated your light. It forgot who sent you. It forgot who sealed you. It forgot that Archangel Michael stands behind every move made by the chosen. What they tried to take wasn't just a gift, it was a gate of breakthrough, a gate of generational shift, a gate of legacy. And because you stood silent, still, and sacred, heaven is now opening that gate wider than it has ever been before. The more they gossip, the louder heaven thunders on your behalf. The more they scheme, the more angels are released. The more they touch what is holy, the more fire rains down to purify the atmosphere. This is spiritual warfare. But you are not outnumbered. You are not overpowered. You are not unprotected. Archangel Michael has drawn his sword, and the blade is bright with divine fire. The conflict is real, but so is the covenant. And in this covenant, you are not weak, you are winning. You are not abandoned, you are armored. You are not shaken, you are shielded. The enemy comes with strategy, but heaven moves with sovereignty. Their schemes are limited. Your covering is eternal. Understand this. Your identity is a threat. Your presence disturbs what has been comfortable in the darkness. Your anointing disrupts the cycles they were used to. That's why they're reacting. That's why they're whispering. That's why they're trying to negotiate your blessing as if they authored it. But they didn't write the scroll. They didn't hold the pen. God did. God wrote your victory long before they even knew your name. And no one can erase what heaven has published. This is bigger than you think. The attack is layered, but the spirit is deeper. You've been going through trials not because you were forsaken, but because you were being framed for elevation. You've been feeling the friction not because you're falling behind, but because you're being fitted for favor. When heaven gets ready to reveal a chosen one, hell gets nervous. And the nervousness has turned into noise. But you are not moved by noise. You are moved by knowing. Knowing who you are. Knowing what you carry. knowing who fights for you, knowing who stands beside you. Archangel Michael says, this battle is not just for you, it's through you. Your resistance is a declaration. Your endurance is an announcement. Your authority is a weapon. And now is not the time to doubt. Now is the time to declare. Declare that you are not for sale. Declare that your inheritance is not up for debate. Declare that the throne you sit on was not built by them, so it can't be removed by them. Declare that heaven has the final say. Type I am anointed in the comments now. Blessing code 888 is rising in your favor to silence every spiritual voice raised against your promise. Archangel Michael is not merely speaking now. He is sounding an alarm. The spirit realm is not silent. There is movement. There is motion. There is manipulation rising quickly, covertly, and with intensity. What was once spoken in secret is now forming into action. A spiritual transfer is underway. The blessing that carries your name, your prayers, your tears, and your warfare is being spoken of with false authority. And if you do not act in this moment, if you do not intervene in this hour, it may be locked away in hands that were never ordained to hold it. This is not fear. This is fact. The Spirit says, there is someone preparing to finalize the deal. They are not doing it with papers. They are doing it with intentions. They are invoking your name as if it belongs to them. They are speaking of your future as if they authored your path. They are approaching gatekeepers with your spiritual identity and trying to barter their way in. Archangel Michael has seen the documents written in the Spirit, and he says, they do not match heaven's records. Right now, yes, in this very moment, there is a transaction hovering in the atmosphere. They are attempting to sign in your absence. They are presenting themselves as the qualified vessel, cloaked in borrowed favor, dripping in imitated anointing. They are trying to possess what they do not have the oil to carry, and their audacity is moving quickly. A decision is about to be made. A window is about to close, and you must rise in your authority and say, no. No to the false claim. No to the stolen access. No to the spiritual identity theft. No to the illegal adoption of your destiny. You must not be passive now. You must not assume it will resolve itself. Heaven is poised to act, but your agreement is the trigger. Your command is the sword. Your authority is the key. Archangel Michael stands ready to reverse the decision, to cancel the signature, to burn the fraudulent scroll, but your voice must rise. Your heart must speak. Your soul must activate. Say it now. I revoke every counterfeit claim to my blessing. This is the moment of reclamation. This is the minute of divine reversal. You have 1 hour, 60 minutes, before spiritual settlement begins to take shape. Listen closely. They may reach out to you. Yes, they may message you in the natural. Not to ask forgiveness, but to fish for access. They may come with innocent tones, familiar language, even spiritual words. But discern their intention. Do not answer out of emotion. Answer from alignment. They are not trying to reconcile. They are trying to reattach. Because they know what heaven is about to release. They feel the rumble. They smell the rain. They see the gate opening. And they know it's not for them. So they're rushing, begging, pretending, anything to re-enter what they willingly walked away from. Others may be spreading your name right now, not with truth, but with distortion. They are spinning your silence into pride. They are twisting your journey into rebellion. They are calling your boundaries arrogance. But Michael says, let them talk. Let them scheme. Let them slander. Because in 60 minutes, heaven is going to put a seal where they tried to place a scratch. In 60 minutes, the Spirit is going to validate what they tried to nullify. In 60 minutes, the counterfeit will be exposed, and the authentic will rise. This is not the time to explain. This is not the hour to defend. This is the moment to activate. Activate your voice. Activate your mantle. Activate your throne. Stand in the Spirit and declare, I cancel every spiritual forgery now. Because Archangel Michael is moving, but he moves where your authority clears the path. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Type I cancel every counterfeit in the comments now. Lesson code 444 is unlocking divine reversal in your favor. The enemy has acted swiftly, but heaven is swifter still. Archangel Michael does not arrive late. He comes at the appointed hour. And now, the Spirit of the living God instructs you to stand, not with your fists, but with your faith. This is not a war you win by reacting in the natural. This is a battle you win by remaining in position. The enemy wants your movement. The enemy wants your noise. The enemy wants your distraction. But heaven says, your stillness is a shield. Your silence is sacred. Your calmness is confirmation that you know who fights for you. Right now, Archangel Michael is standing between you and the altar where your name was being forged. He is guarding the promise. He is breaking the counterfeit seal. But his sword only swings with your spiritual alignment. That's why this moment requires discipline. It requires spiritual poise. You are not to chase rumors. You are not to reply to slander. You are not to beg anyone to understand what only heaven can explain. Let them talk. Let them whisper. Let them try to stir the air. They do not know the force that stands behind your quiet. The enemy wants a reaction, but heaven wants a response. A reaction comes from emotion. A response comes from revelation. The difference is everything. Because if you react, you forfeit your position. If you respond from revelation, you reinforce it. That is why the Spirit says, stay grounded. Do not allow their rush to provoke your pace. Do not allow their urgency to shake your knowing. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where God wants you to be. This moment is not about exposure. It's about exaltation. And the only way to rise is to rest in the truth of your identity. Let heaven fight for you. Let the angels war while you worship. Let Archangel Michael strike while you stand still. You do not need to manipulate anything. You do not need to prove anything. Everything that is yours will find its way into your hands, without striving, without bidding, without panic. What was sold in secret is being reclaimed in the Spirit, not because you forced it, but because you are faithful. This is the strategy of the righteous, to walk in stillness while the heavens thunder, to carry peace in a storm of deception, to remain unmoved while the earth shakes beneath the feet of the guilty. You are not shaken. You are not scattered. You are not small. You are spiritual. You are seated. You are shielded. Every dart sent against your destiny is falling to the ground. Every lie whispered into the wind is being swallowed by silence. Every unauthorized agreement made in your name is being revoked in this moment. The ones who tried to forge the deal thought you would chase them. They thought they had you cornered. They believed their rush would pull you out of alignment. But now they are confused by your stillness. They are threatened by your peace. They are intimidated by your refusal to move outside of divine timing. And because you remain seated, heaven is rising in your defense. Archangel Michael is canceling every clause, breaking every spiritual counterfeit, and releasing divine justice that cannot be stopped. So what do you do now? You rest. You worship. You affirm. You declare. You remember who you are. You remember that blessings do not require bargains. You remember that what is yours will never have to be begged for. And you remember that the one who sent you never leaves you exposed. You are guided. You are guided. You are graced for this moment. Let your non-reaction be your resistance. Let your calmness be your crown. Let your posture be your proof that the Spirit is still in control. Type I am protected in the comments now. Blessing code 999 is encircling you with divine justice and invisible fire. Now the tides begin to turn. Now the tables begin to shift. Now heaven begins to release the reversal that your obedience has activated. You stayed silent, and now heaven is speaking. You remain still, and now the earth is moving beneath the feet of those who tried to claim what was never theirs. You didn't chase the blessing, it returned to you. You didn't fight with your flesh, you warred in the Spirit. And Archangel Michael declares, you are rising now, not as the one who was wounded, but as the one who has been weaponized by God. This is the shift. This is the unveiling. This is the moment where power changes hands. The counterfeit authority is crumbling. The false signatures are fading. The names spoken in deceit are being erased. And the only name rising is yours, the one heaven wrote in fire long before men ever formed their opinion. The storm has served its purpose. The betrayal has exposed the shallow. The theft has confirmed your treasure. They tried to sell your blessing, but they didn't realize you were the blessing. And you can't sell what God made eternal. Archangel Michael says, you are no longer who they thought you were. You have evolved in silence. You have grown in darkness. You have been refined in prayer. You are not the same version they once knew. And because of that, they cannot hold what belongs to you. You are now stepping into a higher frequency. You are moving into divine clarity. You are shedding the residue of delay, doubt, and deception. And what is rising in you is unmistakable. It is favor, it is fire, and it is final. They are watching now. Those who tried to dismiss you. Those who thought your silence was a sign of surrender. They are watching as you rise in spiritual clarity. They are watching as the gates of favor open around you. They are watching as the blessing they tried to forge in the shadows returns to the rightful hands. They are watching because they were never meant to possess it. They were only meant to witness the glory of its release. You have power now, not because you shouted, but because you stood. Not because you argued, but because you aligned. And alignment always creates authority. The storm was necessary, not to destroy you, but to prove that your roots go deeper than they ever imagined. You were not built to be broken. You were built to break limits. You were built to carry light in dark spaces. You were built to recover what others said was lost. You were built to rise when the world thought you would stay silent. And rise you will. Rise above the lies. Rise above the delay. Rise above the betrayal. You are not climbing. You are ascending. You are not begging. You are commanding. You are not hoping. You are knowing. And Archangel Michael stands behind you, echoing your voice in the spirit realm. Heaven has endorsed your name. The seal is restored. The scroll is rewritten. The counterfeit has been crushed. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. Let them try to understand how someone they thought was finished is now standing in fire with no burns. Let them ask questions they cannot answer. You don't owe them an explanation. You owe heaven your praise. You owe yourself your next step. Because now is the moment to move forward without baggage, without fear, without apology. Now is the moment to reclaim your space in the spirit with boldness. Because what's coming cannot be stolen again. This time, it's sealed. This time, it's protected. This time, it's permanent. Type "I am rising" in the comments now. Blessing code 1212 is now lining every divine door that was delayed, stolen, or blocked. It is done. It is finished. The war that rose against your blessing has been silenced by a verdict from heaven. Archangel Michael now stands not with sword drawn in battle, but with sword lowered in triumph. What was seen in the spirit have been stopped. What was spoken in deceit have been silenced. What was sold in error has been supernaturally restored. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine resolution. What they tried to steal has been returned. What they tried to forge has been burned. What they whispered in hidden places is now being drowned out by the roar of heaven declaring, "This one belongs to me." This is the season of reversal. But not just reversal, restoration with elevation. The Spirit says, you will not only recover what was mishandled, you will be raised above it. You will not simply get back what was yours. You will be elevated because of the fire you endured. You will be lifted, not because man decided, but because heaven decreed it. What was taken is now being multiplied. What was blocked is now being blown open. What was withheld is now being poured out in double measure. This is the prophetic release. Someone is coming forward with the truth. Someone is going to say what you could not. Someone will confirm what they all tried to conceal. God is appointing voices in the natural to mirror what has already been declared in the spirit. You will be vindicated, not through vengeance but through visibility. What they twisted will be untangled. What they denied will be undeniable. You will not have to chase closure. It will come to your doorstep with heaven's stamp. Let this moment settle into your spirit. You didn't just pass the test, you were transformed by it. You are not just healed, you are rebuilt with holy power. The delay was divine. The silence was strategic. The betrayal was a blueprint. And now is the birthing. Now is the arrival. Now is the undeniable unfolding of everything they said you would never touch. You are stepping into an answered prophecy. One that was written in quiet but shouted into fulfillment. The angels are rejoicing. Michael is stepping aside. The battle is over. And now the blessing flows. There is no more debate about your position. There is no more confusion about your calling. There is no more access for those who tried to buy what only your spirit had the capacity to hold. The spiritual deal has been canceled. The rightful order has been restored. And now, heaven is opening what hell tried to close. Let every listener know, your time has come. You are not forgotten. You were not skipped. You were not bypassed. You were being timed. And the clock has struck fulfillment. The blessing they tried to steal was never up for sale. It was being preserved. And now, because you stood, because you remained, because you trusted, God is doing what only God can do. He is elevating you in full view of the ones who doubted. He is lifting you in plain sight of those who tried to write you out. This is your divine redemption arc. This is your heaven-sanctioned comeback. This is the moment where everything shifts in your favor, and it won't go silent this time. The winds will blow. The rains will fall. The trumpet will sound, and your name, your true, heaven-sealed name, will be exalted in places you were once excluded. And not just exalted, it will be established. If this message has awakened your spirit and you feel moved to help us spread more messages like this, consider supporting with a super thanks of $10. Your gift helps release more divine truth across the world. Thank you for your generosity. Type "I receive my redemption" in the comments now. Blessing code 2020 is flowing over your head, signaling complete reversal and divine establishment. The heavens have declared it. The angels have witnessed it. Archangel Michael has enforced it. Now, the rest is up to you. You must not walk away from this message unchanged. This is not a story to entertain your emotions. This is a summons to activate your authority. The hour is still open. The window has not closed. The transaction had been interrupted, but now the confirmation must come from you. Heaven moves by alignment. Heaven responds to agreement. And your voice, your spiritual decision in this moment, will finalize what was divinely reclaimed. You must speak it aloud. You must type it boldly. You must declare it into the atmosphere with the fire of someone who knows they've been vindicated. This is not the time for hesitation. This is not the place for second guessing. This is where destiny hinges on your declaration. The enemy tried to rob you by deception. Now you must respond with divine demonstration. Every time you open your mouth with conviction, you align with what Archangel Michael just fought for. Every time you affirm your position, you seal your promise in the Spirit. Say it out loud: I reject every counterfeit. I reclaim my name. I restore my place. I walk in divine ownership. Don't let these be hollow words. Let them be declarations carved into the realm of the unseen. The same way they tried to sell your blessing in your silence, you will now reclaim it with your boldness. This is not just a reaction. This is your resurrection. You are rising, but you must speak to rise. Speak your name into the gates. Speak your victory into the wind. Speak your sealing into the scroll. Don't just watch, participate. Don't just observe, engage. The anointing that flows now is only activated by recognition. That is the pattern of heaven. When the Spirit speaks, the listener responds, and the cycle of blessing completes. If you felt the shift, declare it. If you felt the fire, affirm it. If your soul trembled while listening, this word was for you. And the only way to hold what heaven hands you is to reach with your faith. Type it in the comments. Type it with tears if you must. Type it with fire. Type it like your next season depends on it, because it does. This is not a performance. This is prophetic participation. The declaration you type is the agreement heaven honors. The seal is in the Spirit, but the signature must be yours. You must sign your faith at the bottom of this message. You must put your name in the wind and say, "This belongs to me. This blessing is mine. This covenant is sealed." Some may scroll past this message and feel nothing. But you feel everything. That's how you know you're the one. That's how you know the warning was divine. That's how you know Archangel Michael didn't just speak in general. He was speaking to you. Your spirit was pulled to this word for a reason. Your name was in the fire. Your name was in the scroll. And now, your name must rise in declaration. Let no doubt rob this moment. Let no voice of fear steal what has been restored. You do not need permission to reclaim what was always yours. You need only agreement. Agreement with God. Agreement with the angels. Agreement with your own destiny. This is the hour. This is the portal. This is the 60-minute shift that separates what was from what shall be. So rise, declare, engage, hype, pray, to be with. And when you do, heaven will take your declaration and hammer it into the foundation of your next season. What you confirm today will be the currency of your elevation tomorrow. Your words have weight. Use them now. Let the Spirit see your faith, and let the blessing fall with full force. Type I agree with heaven in the comments now. Blessing code 1444 is opening portals of favor that cannot be shut. You made it to the end, but this isn't just the end of a message. It's the beginning of a movement in your life. Archangel Michael did not appear to whisper reassurance. He came to announce your restoration. He came to validate your victory. He came to protect your inheritance, and most importantly, he came to remind you of what has always been true. You are not a victim. You are the revelation. They tried to silence your rise by selling your blessing behind your back. They thought they could hold private meetings about a public mantle. They believed they could delay what they didn't create. But now, they know better. Now they've watched what happens when heaven steps in. Now they've felt the disruption in the spirit realm as the angels tore up the false contracts. Now they've seen the light that surrounds you, and it's too powerful to extinguish. You are more protected than you've ever been. You are more aligned than you've ever been. You are more you than you've ever allowed yourself to be. This wasn't just about reclaiming something. This was about becoming someone. The one they thought was passive turned out to be powerful. The one they called quiet turned out to carry thunder. The one they walked away from with the one who carried the next wave of divine release. You didn't just pass through betrayal. You ascended through it. You didn't just survive the storm. You became the calm on the other side of it. You didn't just reclaim a blessing. You became the blessing. Let them whisper. Let them analyze your steps. Let them try to understand how you keep rising with so little support. Let them wonder how you glow with grace after they threw dust on your name. Let them observe you, but don't let them distract you. You don't need their apology. You don't need their recognition. You don't even need them to admit they were wrong. You already have heaven's approval. And heaven's yes is louder than all of hell's gossip. You are sealed. You are chosen. You are equipped. The scroll has your name in gold. The covenant has your voice in fire. And Archangel Michael stands at your side with sword lowered in peace now, because the war has been won. What was sold has been restored. What was taken has been returned. What was delayed is now delivered. And not only that, it's multiplied. This is not just the end of the assignment. It's the unveiling of your authority. Your words now carry thunder. Your silence now carries weight. Your name now opens doors that your effort never could. You are stepping into a new hour, a new anointing, a new atmosphere. This is the shift that will never reverse. This is the elevation that will never fall. This is the throne that will never be touched again by hands that do not belong. Walk forward now with boldness. You don't owe the past anything but praise for the lessons it taught you. You don't owe fear another explanation. You don't owe betrayal another replay in your mind. You owe God your full presence in this moment. You owe yourself the right to feel proud, to feel powerful, to feel like the child of heaven you truly are. And from this moment forward, walk like someone who has seen the angels fight for them. Speak like someone who has had a spiritual court rule in their favor. Live like someone whose blessing was not only returned, but reinforced. Type I am the revelation in the comments now. Blessing code 1717 has now surrounded your next steps with divine favor, irreversible protection, and undeniable authority.